Hey everybody, General Gray here. Thanks again for stopping by to watch another video. I appreciate it. I'm playing a little hardcore Kill Confirmed, and I do pretty decent on this match. It was a lot of fun. But today I was going to tell you guys a little story about when I was a kid in the winter times. I grew up in a city that most of you probably know about from the news lately, Ferguson, Missouri. I lived in Ferguson until I was about 14 years old or so. And every year when we moved there, we went to this little park that was called Robert Superior Park. It was a park in Ferguson, Missouri that had a really huge hill, and at the bottom of the hill was a flattish area. It wasn't 100% flat, but it was a good, slow down point for sledding. And I remember that there was probably 60 to 75 kids within the real close area to that park. So every winter it was pretty busy up there. One side had a drain, but it was a half pipe drain. You don't see them too often anymore, but that part usually was iced over pretty well, and that part was usually used for people with inner tubes and stuff like that, and sometimes the little disc sleds. But what we used to do is, on like a Friday evening after we got a good snow, we'd all meet up at the park and we'd go out with our sleds and snow shovels, and in the way past the hill after the flat area and it starts to get a little hilly again, we'd go way out there and we'd scoop all this possible snow we could into our sleds and drag it over to the bottom of the hill, and we'd make these ramps. And it would usually be anywhere from 15 to 20 feet wide, and they were, or I say long, and then about 4 or 5 feet, 6 feet wide. And once it was built, we'd go ahead and we'd spray it down with hoses. Everybody brought their hoses from the house, and we had a couple of friends that lived right on the park. Their backyard was connected to the park. What we did is we'd spray it down that night, let it ice over, so that way the ramp would be, in good shape. We'd smooth it all out, try to get it pretty smooth, and so that way it was a lot of fun to go down it, and the ramp wouldn't, it would work real well. The one thing is you couldn't use an inner tube on it, and everybody knew it, so they just didn't use it because it was actually pretty dangerous to do, so nobody really used inner tubes. One year, I think I was probably about 10, a kid moved into the neighborhood, or close to the park I should say, and he came up to the park and we told him, hey, we see you have an inner tube. If you can use the inner tube, you go down to a little half pipe. That's what we called it. It was a half pipe. It wasn't a true half pipe, what people think for skating or anything. It was actually a drain pipe. And we told him, you can use our sleds, because we had so many sleds up there, it wasn't even funny. But we told him, don't use the inner tube, you'll get hurt. So we're all using the sleds and all this kind of good stuff, and next thing you know, he decides he's going to use his inner tube. So he used his inner tube, went down this hill, and the inner tubes just go too fast, and he hit the ramp, and one of his legs went inside the inner tubes, the center ring of the inner tube, and when he landed, he broke his leg, which pretty much sucked. So me and 3 or 4 other people, we carried him over to his house, and his dad comes out yelling and screaming at us, and we tried to explain what happened and what was going on. He didn't want to hear it, but like I said, he broke his leg, and we never saw him again. We'd only seen him 1 or 2 times, but we never saw him again. We don't know if they moved or what happened, but just never saw him again. Not even sure what really happened, so it's kind of weird. But we went ahead and continued that, and when I turned about 14, we moved out of the neighborhood. But by then it was already starting to slow down. The last year that it was really good was I was probably about 13 years old, and it was cool. And then when we turned 14, I was moving out of the neighborhood, and it just kept getting less and less people would go up there. We were down to about 6 people. But that was a childhood memory I remember that I just absolutely loved. That area was a lower middle class area that we lived in. We didn't have a lot of money. Nobody had a lot of money, and the town, you know, you just started getting in, even in school, you'd get in fights all the time, just trying to defend yourself. I was a small kid, so I was always getting picked on in school. My brother was the little fat kid, so he was always getting picked on. So my parents, first chance they got, they moved out to get us out of that kind of area. So as far as I'm concerned, that city has turned into a lot of trash overall. Not everybody in the town is trash, but as a community, it's pretty much a trashy community. There's a lot of crime in the city, a lot of wannabe thugs in the city, a lot of people who think they're all that in the city, and it's just not that. That city has gone way down the crapper with everything going on, and just in the past, the way that people treat people there. It was not a good place to grow up, other than it taught me and my brother to, you know, be able to stick up for ourselves, not let people walk on us, not let people pick on us. You know, we learned that there, and to this day I still live that way. I don't let anybody pick on me. I don't let anybody talk trash to me. You know, in video games one thing, but in real life I don't let it happen. I'm just not gonna allow that to happen to me and be disrespected. I'm gonna force anybody that knows me to talk to me with respect. I hope you like this video, the gameplay, the commentary. If so, hit that like button for me, subscribe, leave comments. I will get back to you as soon as I can, and I hope to see you guys on my next video real soon. Until then, peace.